The world's oceans are home to more than 450 species of sharks that all dwell at different latitudes, depths, temperatures, or salinity levels. However, some areas of the ocean are home to more species of sharks than others. The Atlantic coast off of the United States eastern border is one of these areas. Sharks are more concentrated here because they find the optimum conditions to live. Plenty of food, flourishing environment, and relatively moderate temperatures keep this region of the ocean home to over 60 different species of sharks. Here's some background information on what sharks are. Sharks are a large group of fish that have inhabited the oceans for over 400 million years, even before dinosaurs populated our planet. They belong to the superorder Selachimorpha, and modern sharks have specific characteristics like a cartilaginous skeleton, 5 or 6 pairs of gills, and several rows of teeth. Many ancient sharks lived before land vertebrates populated the Earth and even before many plant species developed on continents. While these ancient sharks were very different from those found today, sharks have been on this planet for a much longer time than we have. The shark species as we know them has been around for 100 million years. This record-breaking survival cannot be anything less than astonishing. Their specialized anatomy has only improved for those millions of years. Here are some stats about the number of shark species on the Atlantic coast affected by fisheries. There are 11 overfished species, all of which are considered large sharks. They include sandbar, blacktip, bull, nurse, tiger, and hammerhead sharks. There are 8 fully fished species, all considered pelagic. They include thresher, mako, and blue sharks. Of the prohibited species, the Humane Society says all 19 sharks in this category are so imperiled that it is illegal for fishermen to possess them. They include whale sharks, basking sharks, sand tiger sharks, dusky sharks, and others. There are 33 deeply misunderstood species. They are on the East Coast and include lantern sharks and gulper sharks. Endangered sharks face many problems, and they also impact the ecology. Sharks are apex predators, the top of the food chain. If one removes a species from any trophic level, there will be a trickle-down effect. However, it is almost impossible to predict exactly what might occur. But it is safe to say that with the loss of an apex predator, there will be a noticeable ramification. Take for example, the orange sea star, also an apex predator that when removed from its habitat, changes the whole dynamic of the surrounding area. Sharks, however, cover a much larger region than the orange sea star, so the removal of this apex predator will affect a large part of the ocean as a whole. Here are some statistics provided by the Humane Society that support the notion that sharks are on the decline. All shark species in the Northwest Atlantic, except for makos, declined by more than 50% in the past 8 to 15 years. Some shark species, like hammerheads and thresher sharks, have declined by as much as 80%. The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations published a study in 2011 that observed the top 5 countries that exhibited shark and ray captures from 1990 to 2008. Here are the results. It is apparent that Taiwan, Spain, Mexico, Indonesia, and India reached the top levels. Taiwan, who's at the peak, hit up to 350,000. Another study by the FAO in 2011 showed the mean total regional captures of sharks, rays, and chimeras from 1990 to 2008. Since we're focusing on the Atlantic coast of the United States, the Atlantic Northwest is the most relatable ocean. You can see that it hit 40,000 as compared to the Pacific Western Central, which hit up to 130,000. These are some fishing methods that harm species. One is being captured in directed fisheries. The second is being bycatch in other non-directed fisheries. The third fishing method, such as trawling, which runs across the sea floor, destroys habitats and it harms sharks, and if they get caught in it, they are very unlikely to escape if they are bigger than the net. There are many fishing regulations around the world aimed to stop the decline of shark species. According to the FAO, the Shark Finning Prohibition Act of 2000 and the Shark Conservation Act of 2010 have proven to be beneficial. The Shark Finning Prohibition Act of 2000 prohibits finning sharks, which is cutting off the fins and throwing the sharks back into the water, and possessing shark fins without the carcass. The Shark Conservation Act of 2010 meant that sharks that are brought to shore should have their fins naturally attached. Some states prohibit possession and retention of shark fins, even if they are obtained illegally, according to the previously mentioned laws. Category of East Coast sharks, called prohibited species, was 19 species of sharks so imperiled it is illegal to possess them. These include whale sharks, basking sharks, tiger sharks, and this is according to the Humane Society. Regulations are not successful enough because commercial, recreational, and tournament fishing, as well as bycatch, are still threats, even to protected species. Here's a quote from the Humane Society's Status of Sharks in the United States that deals with the problems of modern-day fisheries. It says, "Sharks are targeted by the commercial longline, drift net, and purse seine fisheries. There are three main fishing techniques that commercial shark fishers employ in order to catch sharks, which include long lining, drift, gill netting, and strike netting. Long lining is the most popular along the Atlantic coast and the Gulf of Mexico, and they consist of a main line to which the fishermen attach hooks. Shark meat is considered of low value, and sharks are often discarded at sea rather than landed at port. However, their fins, on the other hand, are worth quite a lot in the Asian shark fin soup market. This has caused many fishermen to cut off the fins of the sharks as they have come abroad and throw their bodies back overboard. This way, they can land the expensive fins and save room to land more expensive fins. This practice is very wasteful, and oftentimes the sharks are finned and return to the sea while still alive. However, there are possible solutions to help this problem. 1. Conduct research on different shark species in order to assess how to implement sustainable fishing. Another is do not ban fisheries, but instead create sustainable fisheries. The third is ban trawling. The fourth, implement catch shares for sharks. It will make the sharks more valuable, causing a higher profit for fishermen while also protecting the environment. Continue to educate the public on the importance of sharks in the ecosystem, what seafood and fish to consume in order to protect the environment, and it is necessary to read the Monterey Bay Aquarium Seafood Watch program.
To improve their pups' chance of survival, some sharks give birth or lay their eggs in nursery areas. Here the water is usually warm and shallow. There's a good food supply and a few predators. Once pups have reached a good size, they leave the safety of the nursery and enter the sea. The four main problems sharks encounter are slow growing rates, late to maturity, long pregnancies, produce few young, may not reproduce every year. However, Our fishery management plan has selected a zone in the Atlantic to help allow the shark population not only the space, but the protection from human negligence. The shark's new fishery is located some 300 miles off the eastern coast of the United States and is 28,719.74 kilometers squared. This region of the ocean will keep the sharks from being hunted and allow them to reach sexual maturity. The main goal of the fishery is to increase the total population of many of the species of sharks that are currently endangered and those close to becoming endangered.